for taking time out of your Wednesday to join us again. Nate and I have committed. We are here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. So if you haven't followed us yet, you can follow us somewhere. There's a button where it says follow. And whenever we start a broadcast, you'll get a notification. We're going to try our hardest to really provide good content that's going to help your business grow every Wednesday at 2 p.m., whether it rains or whether the sun is shining. Right now in Hershey, PA, the rain is coming down hard. My kids wish it was snow, and it seems like it should be snow this time of year, but it's pouring out like it's a rainstorm in the middle of the summertime. So thank you again for joining us. Today's show, we're going to talk briefly about what we do, Nate and I, as far as now Q4 is coming to a close. How do we go into the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter? It's funny, I've seen in some of the posts where I posted in the Facebook groups, some people said they immediately start preparing for Q4. So that's definitely how some sellers operate. A lot of sellers, they put all their eggs in the fourth quarter. Nate and I are definitely not like that. I like to spread my sales out as much as possible. For me, and again, everybody has a different business model, but for me, just having a nice, steady sales rate throughout the year, I think it's very attainable, very doable, as well as just having like a ginormous fourth quarter. So these are some of the things that we do with our business. Hopefully you'll find them helpful. I'm going to share a little bit at the beginning, then Nate's going to close out with his information. So the first thing I'm going to share is it's actually a post that was in a few of the Facebook groups. It's from a very good friend of mine. Her name is KIB. That's what we call it for short. And in her post, which I thought was so timely, was she talked about being prepared for the returns that we're all going to receive in January. A lot of people call January returnuary because obviously if you've sold a lot of goods, you're going to have to be ready to experience a lot of returns. Now, overall, my yearly return rate is below 3%. And I think that's probably about the average that you'll find with most veteran Amazon sellers. It'll probably be between 3%, maybe 5% at the high end, and probably like 2% at the low end, which if you compare that to brick and mortar retail stores, it's actually a really good return rate. However, in January, that number may be a little inflated because a lot of times people get gifts. Maybe they don't like them, so they're going to return them. So it may be a little higher. But so with that said, I just want to prepare you. If you're a new seller and this was your first fourth quarter, get ready. You may see a lot of returns, right? And so just anticipate that. Just know that ahead of time. Sometimes I'll get a return on a big ticket item, like maybe the item costs $350, and I see that return email and it hurts, and I want to get emotional about it. But it's just part of doing business. So just know that, again, you're going to get returns. Don't get emotional about them. It's kind of part of doing business. And one of the reasons we're able to really set premium prices, right, via FBA is because it is so easy for Amazon customers to return products. That's why the Amazon platform sells the way it does. People trust it. They trust that if they get a product, right, that they don't like, that the return process is going to be really easy. And that's how Amazon builds such great customer loyalty. And so, when you see those returns, just understand that you're selling on the best online sales platform in the world. And it's amazing for how large it is that it continues to breed customer confidence, even though it's this, humongous online sales platform. And so, just look at your returns as an average. And again, that yearly average is probably going to be 3 and 5%. However, and again, these are all from KIB, so I give her all the credit for this. All right,
Andy, if I could
go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just say on that, your January sales may seem higher than that, but you have to remember that you're actually getting December's purchases returned to you So if you had a big December or November, December Q4, your returns comparatively might be higher in January, but it's just because you sold more perhaps in Q4. So that might be why they seem above average, but most people even say it's still at that, 2 to 4%, like you're saying, of their Q4 sales. It's just that it's coming in January. So that's where it can seem higher than average.
Yep, absolutely. So just, understand again, an average throughout the year, it's probably going to be about 3%. And don't get overly emotional about it. Now, there are some things you can do. And again, this is from KIB. You might want to look at if you're getting like a higher return rate on some of your products, you might want to analyze that, and try to figure out, is there something that you can adjust maybe next year going into fourth quarter? Maybe there's a product line that you don't want to touch. Because it just seemed like the return rate was too high. So, definitely don't just accept it, but look at it and try to learn from it as much as you can. And again, just understand, because you'll see this in some of the different Facebook groups, people will start complaining, right, about all the returns. 99.9% of the time, most of the buyers on Amazon are good people. And so, don't try to get the buyer, or come up with some type of scheme, because there are sellers that will try to do that. I'll be honest with where I'm at in my business. I refund people very liberally. And that's because I want to keep my store very high. It's at 100%, and I want to keep it at 100% because we're playing in Amazon sandbox. And I want all my metrics to be the best that they possibly can be. And so when it comes to the returns, or when people email me, I'm always very customer service oriented. The old line that the customer is always right. That is me. Someone emails me with a problem, right? I immediately try to figure out what it is I can do to make them happy. Another seller tells me that he pays off terrorists. That's basically what I do. I always pay off a terrorist because I know that's going to be the best for my Amazon account. So that's a little bit about returns. You can expect them, be ready for them. And then, so right now, what I start to do is I shift from Christmas and I start thinking about the upcoming holidays, right? And so I'm just going to throw some holidays out at you, ones that you want to start thinking about that you can take advantage of, because I'm telling you, by far, the holidays, your sales are going to go up. One of the first ones coming up is Valentine's Day, right? If you are a strategic seller, you will try to take advantage of Valentine's Day sales. So that means looking for candy deals, and you need to start doing that right now. Valentine's Day is February 14th. And so, you want to have all of your stuff in there no later by the, like the third week of January, or at the latest by February 1st. The peak of Valentine's Day sales will be like a week right before Valentine's Day. And so start thinking about what kind of bundles can you make, right? Using name brand products that's going to get you in a good place of search. If you make creative bundles, I guarantee you they will sell, because people like purchasing easy products that they can give to their boyfriend or give to their girlfriend. So start thinking about Valentine's Day. The next one, Easter. Easter is a huge seller. Last year, if I showed you my account, I had a huge spike at Easter time. I'm not sure why, if it's because the weather starts getting warmer, people are feeling, a little bit better about themselves, but you will see a spike in sales. And if you talk to most veteran sellers, they'll tell you the same thing at around Easter time. And so you want to make sure you have a lot of inventory in there around Easter, and then specifically get creative about the type of products that you can get. So someone in the chat said, don't forget about new movies. Absolutely. You want to try to stay on top of what the popular movies are going to be coming out. So that's Easter. Passover. Now, Passover is April 23rd. So Easter's March 27th. Passover is April 23rd. You might say, Andy, why are you talking about Passover? Is that really a big seller? Listen, there are different items, right, that are particularly toward the Jewish population that sell really well on Amazon. So that's kind of a Slamazon Bros tip. You want to keep your eye out for different items, and then realize April 23rd is going to be the peak selling time, especially items related to Passover. All right. Mother's Day, May 8th. That's another one you want to put on your calendar. And again, for guys, we always put things off to the last minute, right? And so what do we want? We want to be able to order something easy on Amazon. So come up again with some creative Mother's Day bundles, or look at what's selling out there and get that in. So that's May 8th. Father's Day, June 19th, and then 4th of July, you know, you want to get your red, white, and blue stuff and put that hat on, because again, that's another really good selling holiday. So those are the real big ones that I just wanted to highlight that you want to start thinking about. And again, you know, you can see the stores do this too, right? They switch out all of their inventory, and a lot of times they do it way ahead of time. In fact, I just saw a photo in one of the Facebook groups, like a Target has already got all of their Valentine's Day stuff out. And because they know that that's how you capture the consumer. So make sure, again, and this is, if you are not taking advantage of these holidays, you're leaving money on the table. All right. You want to copy what the retailers do. The retailers have been in the business forever. They know what they're doing. And you want to add these type of products to your inventory, because it's going to help your sales go up. All right. So that's all I had. So the returns, and then really start focusing on those holidays. And then the last thing I want to say is this. I just spent today over $1,000 online on products, because like Nate and I always say, we are always constantly trying to feed the beast. If you want to grow your business, right? If you're part-time, you want to go full-time, you have to have in your mindset that I always want to be acquiring inventory. I just sold a boatload of it, but my mindset when I wake up in the morning, every morning I wake up, I'm always like, what inventory can I acquire today? All right. So that's all I have. Nate, I'll hand it over to you.
Awesome. That was really, really helpful. So I think that was good. And some people in the chat are asking if it's too late to get on the holiday themes if the big box stores are already on it. I don't think it's too late, because like you just said, Andy, they get on it so early. Like I've been in a Walmart and Target already, and there's Valentine's products out. I don't think it's necessarily too late, but you want to definitely get on it now if it's Valentine's Day as soon as you can. And then make sure that you're looking ahead of time, or looking at things ahead of time. And like some people are saying, some of these holiday themes or candy or whatever it is sell all year long. I know someone in the chat said Easter candy was sold last week by them. I know I've sold Valentine's Day and Easter candy all year. So it happens. And then there's even like Christmas in July, stuff like that. So those are things to be looking at. I don't think it's too late, but you definitely want to jump on it now. Okay, so I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. I'm going to talk more about some tips for the end of 2015 and what you guys can do to really help boost your business going to 2016. These are going to be kind of general business tips that I think will apply to your Amazon business, but be helpful for any kind of small business that you're doing as well. So one thing I think everyone should be doing at this time of the year is reviewing your Amazon reports. So Amazon gives us a lot of information, and we already talked about this a little bit last week and the week before, so I'm not going to go into depth with it. But you want to make sure that your bookkeeping is accurate and put together. You don't necessarily need to do this by the end of the year per se, but it's definitely something that you want to be thinking or preparing for. It's important to review your Amazon accounts or your account and report to make sure inventory is lining up, reconcile your inventory. Look at your returns like Andy's talking about, see items that are damaged or returned and how that's affecting how you're keeping track of your inventory. And really just utilize the reports that Amazon gives you. We talked about last week the inventory health report and other reports that Amazon has available. I also personally help sellers manage their account, check for problem areas in your account, and recover money that might be owed to you from Amazon. So if you do want to message me after the video today, I can give you some tips or help you out with that. But the second thing I think you should be looking at, besides your reports, is to speak with an accountant. And this tip alone, you'll hear it from everybody, but this tip alone can save you potentially hundreds or thousands of dollars if you really aren't sure what you're doing, and then speak with an accountant that really leads you in the right direction. So the biggest thing that one of the biggest things that people struggle with Amazon or selling or having your own business is the accounting side of things, because it can be difficult and not everyone likes to deal with it, frankly. It's not the most fun part of the business, but handling your taxes correctly or maximizing your deductions and minimizing business mistakes can be a real savior for your business, really. Many sellers, myself included, have saved thousands of dollars in taxes by getting good advice. So your business might be set up as a sole proprietorship, which might work for you, but I really recommend that you speak with an accountant if you're doing, somewhat of any kind of sales volume, really. Speak with an accountant to make sure that, one, you're handling things right, and two, that your business is set up in a way that is most beneficial for you. So whether that's incorporating or becoming an LLC, I know I've heard many sellers in the Facebook group say that they lost out on thousands of dollars a year prior because they weren't set up the way that they should have been and the way that they ultimately were, and it saved them a lot of tax money. So Andy and I aren't accountants. We're not going to give you specific tax advice, but there is things that you can do to help your business in this aspect and that you should speak with an accountant about. Third thing is to consider making purchases this time of the year. So the end of this year is coming up. Hopefully your inventory levels are somewhat going down because you're making good sales volume. But now might be a good time again to speak with your accountant and see how this all works out, or do your own research. But a good time to order supplies that you might need, upgrade equipment. I know last year and this year as well. Last year I ordered a computer, a new laptop. I ordered a printer, I ordered printing supplies. I ordered my office chair, and just various different things that I needed for my business that I could then deduct and save on tax money this year, not having to wait, all the way till next year, next quarter to save on taxes. So I think everyone should be looking into some kind of business deductions, whether it's planning ahead with your supplies, but some way that you can help minimize your tax impact this year if you've been selling through this year. Tip number 4 is to eliminate old or damaged inventory. So I don't know about you guys, but I have some inventory that's kind of just been sitting around here throughout the year. I thought I was going to get to it. Things just got too crazy busy and it kind of sits around a little too long. If you never realistically are going to get it listed on eBay or somewhere else, like some of the things I probably won't, you might want to consider either giving them to a local charity, or something like that. That way, most of the time, you can get some kind of deduction out of that as well, and then it can benefit your community as well. So
Nate,
yeah.
On that note, I've had a big pile, so I call it like the graveyard pile, right? Where I just throw stuff. Well, one of my workers just yesterday said, "Hey, do you want me to go through that and see what we can sell?" I said, "Yeah, sure, great." So she spent about 3 hours going through it, and it actually ended up, and I was able to list a lot of it right back on Amazon. It was $1,000 sales value, that she was able to list, but it had just been sitting there forever. So that's a great tip.
Yeah, I need a worker to go through my graveyard pile. That's my problem. I need that worker, because same thing here. I know some of it's valuable. It's just that it sits there and it's like, I don't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it, but it's money. It's money sitting there, and you do, for that same $1,000, you'd probably go out running all around town for 3 hours or whatever, but you don't want to get into that graveyard pile. I feel the same way. So yeah, so good advice to everyone. Tip number 5, you should probably, if you're doing your own business, you should look into some kind of retirement plan. I know we're all kind of in the moment what we can do for our business right now, and this is tough to look at. I come from a financial advisor background, so this is kind of, I'm thinking about this a little more than some other people might be, but it's a good idea to, first of all, you should do some research or speak with a financial advisor. But if you can set up some kind of retirement plan, one, you may be able to reduce your tax impact for the year if you set up perhaps a traditional IRA or some kind of other retirement plan. There's Roth IRA options as well, which don't help your taxes in the current year, but they're not taxed in the future. But these are some of the things that you should be thinking of, both for your business to eliminate taxes or your personal income from the year, and then also just to help you down the road. So for a traditional or Roth IRA, most people under 50 are able to contribute up to $5,500 to either one, and then after 50 you have a catch-up where you can contribute $6,500, up to $6,500. And then there's other type of retirement plans as well. I'm not going to go into all of them, but you might look into a SEP or another kind of retirement plan, which can really be beneficial and make sense for planning for your future. And that leads me into point 6, which is begin forecasting. So like we're saying, we're wrapping up Q4 here. It's really important, and Andy, as you said, looking ahead to start forecasting for 2016, not just, the holidays that are coming up, but really look at the big picture. What are your goals for this upcoming year? So I got this from a Forbes article. They didn't state their source, but basically they said statistics show people who write down their goals have over an 80% higher success rate of achieving them. So that kind of seems silly. I know I feel kind of silly sometimes writing down my goals or typing them up. What I think either one would work well. I feel kind of silly sometimes. I'm like, I know what my goal is for this year. I don't need to write it down. But supposedly it's an 80% higher rate of achieving your goal if you write it down, have it there in front of you, and it's probably because it's a reminder, something concrete that really keeps you on track. So my challenge is to everyone to write down your goals for 2016. Whether it's, a net profit for this upcoming year, what you want your profit to be, whether that's a percentage or, the total year, what your revenue or profit is, sales levels, whether you want to get ungated in some categories perhaps, or expand into new categories that you aren't selling in really right now. Maybe it's getting started in a new type of Amazon income source, such as private label or wholesale when you're just doing retail arbitrage right now perhaps. Maybe it's something like that. A goal might be to expand your income to other marketplaces even, like eBay, Etsy, just some other platform, so you're not relying 100% on Amazon. Or it might even be a goal outside of Amazon, like a vacation with your family or checking something off your bucket list. It doesn't specifically have to be sales related, but statistics show that writing down your goals help you to achieve them. So my challenge to everyone is to write down some goals for 2016. I already did this about 2 weeks ago. I wrote down some goals, what I want to achieve over this next year. And I really think having it in front of me is going to help me keep on track of it better and have more realistically be able to achieve them. So that's my challenge to everyone. And it leads me into my 7th point, which is just to take charge in 2016. So I know it might seem obvious or simple or easy, but I just challenge everyone to really go into this new year ambitiously and just start it off strong. So people who have really strong sales numbers throughout the whole year, you might rely heavily on Q4 on certain holidays, but like Andy said, him and I especially like to maintain a well-rounded year. And with that, it means that you're looking ahead into the new year, and that you're really just starting off strong. So you're not slacking off even though Q4 is over. It's time to really just buckle down and look into this next quarter. So you might need to shift your focus into some other areas. If you are a newer seller, you might have only been selling a couple months or a couple weeks, whatever it is. You're going to have to maybe shift your focus a little bit. It's not exactly the same as in Q4 on Amazon in Q1, 2, and 3, but there's definitely still opportunities out there. It's not like sales levels fall off a cliff and nothing is selling anymore. It might just be in a different area. So I really just challenge everyone to go into it strongly and to expand their focus and their horizon and really just look at what else you can do. That's pretty much all I had, Andy. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I just, I don't know if you call me an optimist, or I really love this business. So in one of the Facebook groups, a good friend of ours, his name is Matthew Kelly. He's only been selling on Amazon for 18 months. He actually lives in my area about 15 minutes from me. And he just posted a pic. His 2-week payout. Now, understand, he's been doing this for 18 months. He does have a small warehouse. I think he maybe employs his sister and maybe like a few part-time people. But his 2-week payout was $245,000. So that was his 2-week payout. Now that to me is just mind-boggling, crazy. 245,000 2-week payout, and he's been doing this for less than 18 months. But I'll tell you one thing about Matt is he works extremely hard. He hustles, and he will tell you that the last 18 months have really been about building his Amazon business. He's extremely smart, very strategic. But with all that said, he's not like a Superman. He's not like extraordinary. But I think when you combine his work ethic with the opportunities that are available for you and I, hitting the 245,000 payout is realistic. I'll be honest, I don't work as hard as him. However, I think that anyone, if they worked as hard as he does, could probably reach that level in 18 months as well. So, just seeing that payout from him was extremely encouraging. Again, knowing that he's a relatively new seller. And everyone has different goals for their business. You may have a full-time job and you just want to make a part-time income. Well, this is a great business for that. You may be doing it part-time right now, but have a desire to go full-time. Well, I honestly will tell you from the bottom of my heart, if that's a desire of yours to make an Amazon business your full-time job, it is very doable. You can do it. I have seen many, many sellers who have started part-time and who are now full-time, and they've gone all in. So if that's where you're at, just be encouraged that it can be done. Be encouraged by a guy like Matt Kelly, who's what I call an average guy like all of us, but works really hard and has made himself a whole lot of money using the Amazon platform. So Chris Green always says this, Amazon is a great company, but just understand though, why I love Amazon. I understand that Amazon doesn't love me. However, I will use the Amazon platform as much as I possibly can to continue to build my wealth and hopefully, get it to a level that I'm happy with. So that's all we have for today. I don't know, some of you in the chat, you probably know this. I'm actually doing my private label course again. It begins January 1st. Our show next week, we're going to talk a little bit about what Maggie and I teach in our private label course. If you're interested in private labeling and all, I encourage you to check that out. You can go to andrewslamans.com or you can go to slamazonprivatelabel.com. That's where you can find out a little bit about the course. But again, next week at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we'll talk about my course a little bit as well. So thanks a lot, you guys, for taking time out of your Wednesday. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Hope you're able to spend some time with your family and friends. And hopefully you're able to enjoy some of the fruits of Q4. All right. So thanks a lot, Nate. Thanks a lot again for hanging out and joining us.
Merry Christmas. See you guys next week.
All right. Merry Christmas. See you guys.